So you want to get better UMA in Unity Cup. This scenario generally produces higher overall UMA potential if played properly. But of course, when you low roll, it can feel more frustrating and demoralizing than ever. There are ways to optimize runs to make it more consistent and maximize those decent to high roll runs, or if you're still struggling with getting good stats in the Unity Cup, this video got you covered. This is what's been working for me, and these are general tips. Sometimes the context of the turn can alter some of these for specific turns, so keep that in mind. And if you have any tips of your own, please leave them down in the comment below. Let's talk about the first two rounds first, because right off the bat you have a chance to optimize. As you all know, this scenario mechanic include a bubble explosion or spirit explosion, whatever you want to call them, and you get a bunch of UMA on different time of the career on your team to fill those bubble up. Your first batch of teammates, the UMA from your support cards, shows up on turn 3, so it's important to have as much energy as possible when turn 3 comes around, while also following our general guideline of working towards unlocking our friendship training. Generally, for me, I choose whichever has the most UMA. So for this example here, I'm gonna see this one has two. So I'm gonna choose this one has two with UMA as well, which is really nice. And then now we are on turn 2. We have two choice. If there is no one on wit, which is the case here, I press recreation and pray to God I don't hit karaoke. Okay, thank God. I mean, karaoke isn't bad. If you don't have a friendship card or you don't have that much card with like mood up event, then it's not that bad. But generally speaking, energy is way more important here. Alternatively, if you have one or more UMA on wit, you can also consider clicking wit to raise their friendship while getting energy and wit. For me, if there's two or more UMA on wit, I'm definitely taking it. But if it's one, I will only take it if the UMA is part of one of my wit card, because getting your wit card to unlock friendship training is the most important out of any other cards in your lineup. But for this run specifically, I didn't have anyone on wit, so I clicked recreation and you saw all of our friends joining us. Now we have a lot of energy as soon as they come in, so we can prioritize friendship training and bubble at the earliest interval with high energy. Before we talk about priorities, I want to take a few minutes talking about wit and the Unity Cup in general. As a lot of you probably know and heard from many people, that this scenario is going to have more emphasis on wit, where every deck you run, you generally want to have one wit card at the very least. So why is wit more important compared to the URA finale now? It's not like wit got buffed or anything. Wit is more important in this scenario because they added another mechanic on top of the existing mechanic, that being these bubbles over here. These bubbles not only affect unlocking the Spirit Bomb when fully charged for extra stats yield, but they also help you improve your UMA so they have better chance of winning the Unity Cup team trials within the career. In addition, the facility level, their level up condition is different now also, where in URA, every 4 click on a facility leveled them up. Now it's based on the grade rank of your UMA team, which is heavily affected by these bubble as well. So now not only do you need to focus on getting friendship to unlock friendship training and hitting multiple rainbow, you also need to account for these bubble to increase your odds of winning the Unity Cup team trials, as I mentioned earlier, that not only grant stats and skill point, but affect your facility training level. The addition of these bubble might make what used to be a dead turn to be a decent turn or even a good turn. I know that was a lot, but with all of that in mind, that makes this scenario more snowbally, more tempo based. So to optimize and min-max the new mechanic on top of the existing one, we want to utilize as much turn as possible and reduce the amount of turn taken in career not training, such as resting and recreation. This is why wit clicks are more valuable than before. Wit does not take energy but also gain energy, which is why I emphasize on prioritizing your wit card friendship training earlier. Due to the earlier you unlock wit rainbow training, the more chance you have the option of rainbow wit click that provide even more energy. And if the Uma god loves you, Uma and Bubble will appear on your wit training like so, so it can at times kill three birds with one stone. That being said, do not overly cap on wit. If you're training for a CM, for example, and you have 1,000 wit and 300 less power than the intended amount, your UMA is probably not going to win a lot. Ultimately, keep in mind what you're training your UMA for and what stats profile you're aiming for. With that out of the way, let's talk about what I think most people have questions for. what are the priorities for this scenario? Is friendship still the most important? Are the bubbles more important? You can ask different people and you'll probably have find different answer, but for me it is very simple. I prioritize both of them. And I know what you're all thinking. Dude, you're so greedy. Yes. Yes, I am. But you kind of have to do this to get the best result intended in this scenario. Generally, I like to think of a scoring system. In the early game, a single bubble towards a spirit explosion and increasing friendship of an individual Uma is +1 for me. With training can be 0 plus 0.5 to +1 depending on my current energy of that turn and how that would affect my next turn. If you have Riko, that can also be considered plus 0.5 to +1 depending on the overall value of the training she is on and also your current mood and all that. So for example here, this power click here, for me it will be +1 because it's on Dover. It's not she has not unlocked her friendship bonus yet, so she is a +1 and then there's a up arrow, that's another +1 towards the spirit explosion. There's Riko as well, so it's reduced energy. So to me, this one is like 2.5. It would have been a 3. Riko would have counted as a 1 if I was at good mood, but since I'm already at max mood already, so the extra mood effect from this click would not really uh, mean much to me. So to me, this click is a 2.5. In contrast of this click, for example, I can get improve the friendship of Machikane, which is not unlocked friendship yet, so that's a +1. Fine motion as well, I can work towards the friendship bonus, which is also a +1. And then also up arrow here is a +1, and then also Haruara, there's an up arrow here that's a +1. So this one is a +4 click, and I don't think there's anything else here that's come close to it. So this one for me is going to be my obvious choice of click. Please do not greed Spirit Explosion. I think some people think that the Spirit Explosion work the same way as friendship training, where if you stack them together, it will be exponentially better. It does not work like that for Spirit Explosion. Preferably want to trigger the Spirit Explosion on stats you care the most about, but sometimes that you don't have the luxury to do that because if you greed too hard, your Uma in the Unity Cup Team Trials will have worse stats, and the chance of you losing the Unity Cup round would increase, and losing on any of the team trials is quite detrimental from my experience. I'm not saying you can't greed. I'm just saying that you shouldn't greed too hard. Obviously, for this case, that like I have a really good round for my Spirit Bomb Explosion, right? So this one I'm obviously gonna take. But generally speaking, if it went to like gut and you don't want gut, then sometime you might have to take it, or otherwise your team will be too weak for the Unity Cup team trials, and then you'll lose the battle, and then your run is basically over anyway at that point. By the way, here's a bonus tip. I think some people know this, but some people don't. You get a free mood up at the end of the junior year, late September. So after this click, I should be getting a mood up. So if you're not at great mood near here, or you got a mood down a few turn prior, just like me here, don't waste a turn on recreation or even friendship dates if you have unlocked them giga early. So as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and click on. I'm actually gonna click on this. I'm click on gut for increase my fine motion. I also click the arrow, and then I get a mood up after the end of late September of my junior year. Let's talk about using Riko optimally now. Now, some of you don't have Riko, but you'll probably use her eventually. The event to unlock Riko Day can occur once you hit green, which is 3 bar on her friendship gauge. Sometimes you can get really unlucky and get the event really late. I had one the other day where I unlocked it at the senior year, late November. Like, wow, thanks a lot. But that's very rare, and this is the event that unlocks her date. Do not ever choose the bottom option. It is never worth it. The top option is a gamble option where you can get energy and ramp up hints. But if you fail, you won't be able to access the date and your run is pretty cooked. So I always recommend the middle option, which guarantees unlocking her dates. You want to use Riko on a dead turn or in situation where you get a mood down from whatever sources. What is considered a dead turn? It is a turn where none of the click in training provide much benefit, so it feels like a waste to click on one of them. You can instead just get energy back. Again, you want to reduce the number of turns you aren't training as much as possible, but sometimes dead turn can be roadblock since it feels like a lost situation. You always have the option to click wit on a dead turn, but the Rico date gives more energy and also stats as well. Generally, if the game allows me to, I like to save 2 to 3 Rico dates for the senior year in case any BS shows up towards the end of the career, where this is when you want to heavily focus on getting stats for whatever stats profile you're aiming for. That being said, even though I keep emphasizing on reduce the amount of time you click rest or recreation, you still sometimes want to use rest and do not rely solely on Rico's date as your new permanent rest button. Rico's day are limited and does not give that much energy depending on the limit break of the Rico card you're using. Most, if not all of them, give less than sleep deprived rest of plus 30 energy. Sometimes hitting the 50 uh, energy, and if you're lucky, plus 70 can allow you to manage training and weight click cycle more often than what a Rico day can provide you with low energy. Using too many Rico dates early is also not ideal in case you end up with one date left on senior year and you get unlucky and get hit with multiple mood down events. If you're using Rico and you manage it well, ideally you never click recreation once only in the beginning of the career and be able to maintain great mood for the majority of the career that matters. That being said, I would like to address this before I forget. Depending on what you're training your UMA for, you don't want to consider forcing all of the Rico dates as a mandatory task. If you're, for example, training your UMA for, say, your mile team trials roster, right? Maxing Rico will have higher incentive because maybe you didn't invest in too much stamina spark, so the extra stamina from Rico's dates can help to get the bare minimum you need for the miles team trial threshold. Uh, and also, in addition to that, the gold skill rushing Gale that if you're using the SSR Rico card that unlocks on the final date is something you might consider for team trials for scoring purposes. But if you're training for a mile CM, for instance, and you already know you will hit the required stamina and gut ratio, then don't force yourself to think you have to complete all of her dates. If you have any other choices available that can make your UMA invest in other things that are more important for that CM. Now we have reached our first Unity Cup team trials, and keep this golden rule in mind. One middle, rest of them top. This means that out of the 4 battles that you get to choose your opponent, Rico being the fourth that is guaranteed, you can click on the middle opponent once, and the rest of them being the top opponent. Obviously, ideally, you want to choose a top opponent all the time, but I find that very unlikely, or otherwise the chance of you losing one of them is quite high. My personal favorite, and this has been very, very consistent for me, is to choose the middle, the first one, and the top for the rest of them afterward. The reason for that is it allows you to focus on unlocking your friendship on your wit card earlier, while you have weaker UMA from less optimized bubble clicks earlier on in your career. And once you unlock them, you can put a little more emphasis on bubbles to make sure your squad is ready for the next one. Or if you get unlucky early game, choosing the middle allow you to come back and not instantly end your run. If you lose a single one of these, in my opinion, you either quit the career run or refocus that run as a parent run. People have conflicting opinion on this where they argue it's not worth their time or sanity, while the other side say you're wasting your daily borrows, your energy, fans for your club, a potential good parent, yada yada yada. Both sides are valid, have valid reasons. It's up to you who you are and what you value more. People also argue that losing the first one or just one overall is okay, but personally, I don't think so because, as I mentioned earlier, this scenario is very tempo based. So if losing tempo early will have everlasting effect to the rest of your run moving forward, and as a min maxer, I do not like that, but you can have your own opinion on that one. You can also manually manage your UMA to optimize for these rounds, but I never do it because I'm lazy. Generally speaking, if you're going to optimize and manually place them in certain places, you should do it on the fifth one, the one against Rico's team, because that one is the hardest, and the AI sometimes can be very, very stupid. The amount of time they put Haru Urara on my sprint turf race, even though Haru turf's aptitude is trash, is it should be considered a war crime, honestly. They can even sometimes place lower rank Uma over higher one, and I'm pretty sure that's because the AI value the has like a hard out for like the skills over the stats of the Uma. You can also see these symbols as indicator of your likelihood of winning. But these indicator, I swear to God, are the biggest scams I've ever seen. I've lost some of the ones where it's double circle, and I've won a lot of races where it's triangle or and sometimes even X. So yeah, take that as you will. I would just follow the golden rule where you pick one middle and then three top and then face Riko, and there you go. That's the Unity Cup team trials in a nutshell, pretty much. And then also manage your team at the fifth round against Riko. Now, is doing extra races worth it? Most sprinters just doing their career races will not reach the fan milestone to increase their unique skill level. And sometimes even Uma that have a lot of medium races in their career might have a few stinkers in those races that makes it so they can't reach the fan requirement for those unique level up milestone. So for example, my Taiki Shuttle here, I have won every single one of my current races and I will not have another race for a long, long time. After this will be then my next race will be after my two fans milestone to upgrade my unique skill, and I will not have enough fans. As I mentioned a lot of times now, this scenario is very tempo based. So if you're preparing for an Ace Uma, I don't think it's worth it a majority of the time to do extra races, even if it means you can't hit the fan milestone to improve your Uma's unique skill, as the increase in level for the unique skills isn't significant enough for Ace Uma, in my opinion, for you to sack all the turn just to run those extra races. There are exceptions, such as if you're only one race away from unlocking two of the milestones and you happen to run into a dead turn and have good energy left, then those situations you can still run races. For Team Trials Uma, such as my Taiki Shadow here, on the other hand, it is worth it to the point where you'll hit those fan milestones to upgrade your Uma's unique skill level. In Team Trials, higher unique skill level gives more points once activated, and the extra skill points you get from the races also allow you to buy more skills, which means more skill activation points in Team Trials. If your support cards are really cracked, then when you're training Team Trials Uma, it is worth it to race a lot of G1 extra G1 races because you'll probably hit the stats that you want while also hitting doing all these G1 races and getting a lot of those extra skill points to buy those extra gold skill or just white skills in general for those extra point activation. I should also mention, if you lose to Riko on the final round, you're also cooked because you lose a decent bit of stats you get from it and 60 plus skill points, and most importantly, the gold skill for the team you chooses, which most of the time would mean you won't be getting access to buying No Stopping Me, which is a very strong skill. Phew, that was a lot. I just want to end this with that I understand that a lot of people are venting their frustration on the scenario being more RNG, and you're not wrong, but do not let it get to you. If you're feeling tilted by the increase in RNG, take a break, refresh yourself, and continue the game once you're in a more positive state. For those that are struggling to get to higher stats in this scenario, I hope this video taught you something and made a difference in your trained Uma. I'm sorry I didn't really show much of the gameplay side for this career run. I've just been going to a lot of different places trying to explain different things, but I didn't want to make this into like a 50-minute documentary going step by step what I wanted to do and then explaining things. If you guys are interested in me showcasing some Unity Cups run with my thoughts on my decision, then let me know in the comments down below. I'll maybe consider doing that. But that's it for this video, gamers. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment, and any other tips, or I misspoke somewhere, and or you disagree with something I said, please let me know in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I wish you guys the best of luck with your Unity Cup runs. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Take care.